Hello, everyone. Is everybody able to hear me fine and also see my screen?
Hi,
Hi,
Deepika.
Deepika. Yes.
Okay, awesome. Guys, I won't be paying much attention to the chat while I'm teaching, but I will ask you questions every few minutes. So hold on to your thoughts until then. And if you have any questions, just raise your hands, keep yourself mute so that others don't get disturbed. And let's get started. I have already started the recording for the meeting. So if there is something you didn't understand, you can watch the recording later, or we will also have a little bit of doubt session towards the end as well. So let's get started. I hope everyone is excited about this session. And I know a few of them are already familiar with admin, so it might be a little repetition for them, but I will try to teach them from the perspective they have never learned. So hopefully something valuable will come out of this today's session. So first of all, we are starting the admin certification course. This course is not only just to prepare you for the certification, but it's also going to help you from the real world perspective, how Salesforce works. You have to start thinking like as a business owner and as well as a developer. So it's a combination of making you job ready. So the first thing is we will start with the developer account. But before we get into that, I want to talk about a few things. Please make sure you are connected with me on LinkedIn. And because I share a lot of stuff on LinkedIn, if you want to be up to date with me, what's going on, what are the new courses, new blog posts, anything that you want to talk about Salesforce. And I sometimes also share a lot of personal stuff there. So please do connect with me on LinkedIn. And also, if you are not part of my emails, then you should be, because I kind of keep it very consistent with the emails as well. And if you have any questions, you have my direct number. You can email me as well. I am pretty responsive at both the places. My agenda for this whole session is I am going to give 3 months of my time to you guys. So anytime you need any help beyond these sessions, don't hesitate to reach out. My intention is to help you as much as I can. And I'm expecting that kind of dedication and commitment from your side as well. You have spent the money in with me, you have spent your time. So I would like you to have the maximum benefit out of it. So please, for the next 3 months, I want your dedication and consistency. I completely understand there might be certain times where you're not up to it, but if you don't miss the session, that will be the first thing. Come prepared, do the assignments on time. Um, so do connect with me on all those places, and let's start. So first of all, what is Salesforce? So Salesforce is a company which is started by Mr. Mark Benioff. But why Salesforce has become so popular? Because Salesforce has created this cloud platform called a CRM, Customer Relationship Management Platform. Now, there are so many other CRMs that were there in the market before, like Siebel CRM, Microsoft has its own. But what Salesforce separated was the ease of the use, and also it was completely built on the cloud, which means that you don't need to have anything on the premises. On the premises, I mean, you don't have to have servers you don't have to spend money on that. Salesforce is basically you works on a subscription model. You pay for their services and you get everything. Okay, so it takes a lot of headache out from your hands. So that's why Salesforce kind of grew to this extent in a very short amount of time. I don't think it's been long it's one of the fastest growing CRMs. And Mark Benioff is a good sales guy. He keep bringing new and new products. So if you are in Salesforce and if you are up to date with what's going on in Salesforce, you will have a full job security. It's not like a company who has stopped inventing stuff or introducing new products. On a regular basis, Salesforce is being up with what's going on in the world. They are up with their AI game, they're up with their clouds, everything. So they're trying to create more and more products and try to acquire more and more market. Okay, so Salesforce is basically a cloud platform that help companies. What does it do? It helps companies to find customers. So if you are a business owner, it doesn't matter you're a small business or a big business, Salesforce helps you to find new customers. You bring those customers into your system. You basically sell products to them. It could be digital products, physical products. You sell services to them. And then once you have sold, there might be some support tickets raised as well. Like there might be issues with the products, or there might be delays in the shipment of the products. Then they also give you a platform where they can create tickets. That's called cases. And all having all this in one place will give you a good view of your customer. You can communicate with them within the platform. You can send them emails within the platform. You can track how much revenue they're bringing. You can track everything about the customers within Salesforce. Okay, so instead of using, if Salesforce was not there, then you would have been using Excel files to keep track of your customers. You will be using Excel files to know how many products you have, how many you have sold, what is the pricing on them, what is the sales price, cost price. So you'll be basically everywhere, and you won't be able to streamline and scale your business. But whereas if you have Salesforce, you all you need to do is you just need your logins to log into Salesforce from anywhere in the world. You just need an internet connection, and you will see everything about your customers in one place. That is the power of Salesforce. Any questions so far? Okay. So Salesforce main product, as I mentioned to you, is a CRM, which is a customer relationship management platform. And throughout this whole course, we are going to build this application called CloudKicks. And CloudKicks basically is a shoe company. So it is a wholesale shoe company that we are going to build here. And that particular company is going to sell shoes to either to other companies or to individual customers as well. Okay, so this is what we're going to be building in this whole course is a CloudKicks, and I will give you another project on the side as well, and we will build that will be towards the end of the sessions, but we will be focused on CloudKicks company in this whole 1 month period. Now, with Salesforce CRM, we will have something called as accounts. There are a lot of out-of-the-box features of Salesforce. So in order to store information about your customers, Salesforce already gives you some pre-built objects like accounts, contact, opportunities, cases, and we will talk about what each of them are in a minute. But this is the project that we are going to be building in this particular course. Now, Salesforce has different clouds, and you probably need to know what all clouds do. So there are Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Marketing Cloud, Revenue Cloud, Experience Cloud. There are a lot of clouds that are there. Now, what do you mean by clouds? Basically, they are the products, different types of products for different types of businesses. Okay, so the number one selling product is of Salesforce is Sales Cloud and Service Cloud. That is where they started with. These are the two main, and any new clouds that they are building, their base is still Sales and Service Cloud. Okay. Any questions so far, guys? Let me know if I'm going too fast, I'm going too slow. Let me know about it.
Quick question, Deepika. Are you going to be sharing the recording for this?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. The recording will be shared. Okay. So what are the different clouds we have? So first one is the Sales Cloud. Now, who will use the Sales Cloud? If you have a business and you're selling products, it could be as simple as selling shoes. It could be selling like a big company selling other physical products, things like that. Anything to bring customers. It's basically for sales team, right? So sales team, first what they need to do is they need to find customers. Customers are basically, they are not yet the customers, they are called leads in the system. Okay. So you launched a campaign or you went to a seminar and you're trying to find people who are interested in your products, right? So what you do is you get their email addresses, you get their phone numbers. Those people who have shown some kind of interest, let's say you had a booth over in that seminar and you're there and you're showcasing your products and few of the people showed interest. So the people who showed interest are called as leads in the system. Okay, you track them as leads. Then you nurture those leads. When you say nurturing means you will make a phone conversation with them, you will email it to them, you will call them, set up a meeting with them, and you will try to explain more about your products. And once you teach them about the products, once you tell them, hey, how my shoes are different from other companies, or how my company's products are different from other, how my pricing is different, you try to make a connection with your leads. And eventually, let's say out of 100 leads, usually 10% or less than will convert into your customer. Customer is nothing but you store them in objects like accounts and contacts. Okay, so they start with leads. Everybody start as a lead, and then they get converted to an account or a contact. Okay, and then the deals that you're making, right, the products that you're selling, you will track them through something called as opportunities. Okay, now opportunity, let's say you're selling to a different company, you're a wholesaler, you found a retail company and you're selling 10,000 orders of shoes to them, so that is like an opportunity for you. And then opportunity goes through different stages in the pipeline, and eventually you will close that opportunity. You will either win that opportunity, means you will get that business from that company, or you might lose that opportunity. So that is what is the life cycle of a sales cloud. Okay, so you will have main objects that will be in the sales cloud is leads, contacts, accounts, and opportunities. Okay, so example is the Cloud Kicks company sees all open shoe deals, which stage they are in, and forecast revenue, right? Based on how many things are in the pipeline, you can forecast, okay, this year we might be doing 100 million in sales. Next year, we are projecting 120 million. So based on these numbers, you can analyze your data and you can work towards it. So Sales Cloud is all about sales team selling stuff to other businesses, or B2B or B2C. Okay, that's what Sales Cloud is. Then you have is Service Cloud. Service Cloud is basically, think of it like customer service or support teams. Okay, and the main objects that you're going to deal with in the Service Cloud is cases, knowledge, and SLAs. So anytime a company has bought or anytime a company is selling something, you also need to have a good customer relationship, right? I am selling courses to you guys, right? So I do have a platform where I launched my courses. You go ahead and buy those courses. So that is part of the sales, right? Once you have bought the course, you might have issues with watching the videos, right? You're going to send me an email, or that is called raising a ticket. You probably are having issues logging into the account. That's another issue you might come across. So that's another complaint that you have. So what you will do is, in the Salesforce, we will store all those complaints in an object called cases. Okay, and that is what the cases will be created behind the scenes. So any businesses also needs to have a good customer service. If you don't have a good customer service, you are going to face challenges in growing your business, in scaling the business. People are not going to buy, will not be a repeated customer. If you are not responding to them in a proper, timely manner, they're going to go somewhere else. So Service Cloud is mainly for customer service and helping your current businesses, current clients, current customers. Okay. It handles customer issues, complaints, questions. Now, cases is one object. Now, knowledge. You will have a customer service team, right? So, what is knowledge object? Knowledge object is basically keeps track of documents to help support those cases. Mine, if somebody came as a customer service agent to MyTutorialRack, I had to train them that, hey, if somebody is coming up with a logging issue, you go over to their profile, you check if their username password is set up properly, if their products are set up properly, if they have enrolled into any courses. So I will write that in the document and I will put it in a place called knowledge articles. And those customer service agents can refer those knowledge articles and can answer those queries for the customers. Okay. Then SLAs. SLA is called as service level agreement. You might have different tiers you offer, right? So for example, if somebody has spent $97 buying an yearly subscription with me, I will give them more attention because they have spent more money, right? Or this is just an example. For me, every customer is the same. But you probably have different tiers, and different tiers means some customers of yours are gold members, some are diamond members, some are silver members. So people who are diamond members, you have to respond to their queries within the 2 hour time frame. Somebody who is a gold member, you can have up to 1 day of response time. So that is your service level agreements with those customers, that how quickly you're going to address their issues. Okay, and every company with Salesforce will have this agreement that, okay, some of the businesses are the gold member of Salesforce. So any issues that company raises with Salesforce, they will call them quickly and try to respond to their queries, because that is the agreement they have built with the Salesforce. Okay. So in the Service Cloud, what happens is shipment was late, or if the order was not submitted on time, then you will create a case, you will assign to a support agent, and agent is going to respond to you quickly. So that is what is Service Cloud. Any questions between Sales Cloud and Service Cloud? This is just an overview. I want to give you a full-blown picture of what Salesforce is before we actually do things in Salesforce. Is everybody crystal clear up till this point?
I have a question, Deepika.
Yes, go ahead, Deepti.
So when you talk about the sales cloud, for any sales operation, you would have the marketing aspect of it that precedes it, correct?
Yes, yes,
So
definitely.
yeah, so when you look at the funnel, so to speak, when you actually are marketing, you're doing your campaigns and things
Hmm.
like that, and you find the leads. So all of that, is it included in the sales cloud or is there some
That
other?
is separate. So there is
Okay.
there is a little bit of, but that is considered a marketing cloud. The
Okay.
campaigns,
Okay.
campaign members, and things like that, that is separate. That is covered into, I believe, third one, which is the marketing cloud. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So a company will bring multiple stuff together, right? And they
Yeah.
might have, and some things do overlap as well. Okay, so some
Right.
objects will be available in the Sales Cloud as well as in Service Cloud. So,
Yes.
so there
So
is
for
going,
example,
definitely there
leads,
is going to
right?
be an overlap. Go ahead.
Okay. The
Yeah.
leads and all that would come from here, and then you kind of
Mhm.
figure out maybe there is a scoring mechanism of some kind which actually pushes it into your the
Yes.
sales calendar. Yeah.
Yes. There is.
Okay.
So from campaign, there will be leads generated that will be pushed as a lead. You nurture them. So there's a whole process. We won't get into the details of that because that's outside of the scope, but this is more to give you what different products Salesforce has.
Okay. So what you are going to cover is more like the sales cloud and the service cloud in this?
Sales Cloud mainly, admin portion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a
Okay.
little bit of Service Cloud. We do have to cover Service Cloud. We're not going to get into marketing and all that.
So for the input of any kind of leads and all that in the sales cloud, which would generally come from a marketing cloud, you're
Yes.
just kind of going to
Starting from
create.
the lead. We will start from
Okay.
the lead, but you will
Okay.
assume
All right.
it's coming from some kind of marketing effort.
Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions? Let me first try to, I am so sorry about my dog. Um, Roberto, Girija, Kushbu, Dan. Guys, you need to speak up. 1 second, guys. Let me close the door. Okay. I need a thumbs up from everybody before I proceed. Awesome. Okay, I like that. Okay. The next one we have is Marketing Cloud. Okay. So who uses Marketing Cloud is marketing teams. Now think of any business, right? If I have to sell something, I need to promote myself out there, right? Right now, how am I promoting myself? I am posting stuff on LinkedIn. I'm bringing people from LinkedIn over to my website. I am posting stuff on Instagram. Either I'm sharing free videos, I am creating new shorts, right? So I'm trying to bring customers. Similarly, in order to bring customers, they have to market themselves. Nobody's going to come to your door and saying, hey, we want your product. You have to showcase what your product is all about. So you will do things like campaigning, right? You will attend other people webinars, or you will go to other seminars, right? And you will showcase, just like Dreamforce. What Dreamforce is nothing but a place where Mark Benioff is selling his products, right? He's a sales guy. He's selling stuff. He's talking about the new features. He's going to sell AI. He's going to sell Revenue Cloud. He's going to sell Financial Cloud. That's what the place is. So he's inviting, right now he's inviting, I believe, the Google Sundar Pichai for his Dreamforce conference. So it's kind of like a campaign. He's running a campaign, bringing the leads, and then he's going to bring the leads. In his case, is going to be other businesses, right? So Marketing Cloud basically is where you gather leads through your campaigns. You create an email campaign, or you create a discounted coupon. So let's say around Christmas time or around my birthday times, I launch a coupon code every year to basically help people get enrolled in my courses at a discounted rate. Similarly, shoe companies will also run campaigns at a discounted rate to bring more people in as customers and we get them hooked to their products. Okay. So that is what will be effort will be tracked through Marketing Cloud, sending targeted emails, SMS, ads, tracking the campaign effectiveness, how good the campaign performed. The goodness of the campaign would be how much money you spent on the campaigns and how much revenue you were able to generate from that campaign, right? Sometimes the campaigns might just be flat. Sometimes the campaigns do very good. So through these campaigns, they're trying to bring leads into their system, and then eventually they're going to convert those leads into their customers. Okay, so that is Marketing Cloud. The next one is Commerce Cloud. Commerce Cloud is used by the e-commerce and retail teams if they're selling something, right? Like Shopify. So Shopify people are selling a lot of clothing stuff. They are selling a lot of merchandise, things like that. So Commerce Cloud can be used by other retail businesses. It's for like e-commerce. It helps you run online stores and shopping experience. I've never worked in Commerce Cloud, so I cannot give you much more information. So let's say in our company, Cloud Kicks, we build an online shoe store, and we will have all the pictures of the products. We will have the pricing for the product, what is the inventory. So all that will be taken care by Commerce Cloud. So think if somebody has used a tool called Shopify, an app called Shopify, it's kind of similar to that, running an e-commerce store, and Salesforce has its own cloud to give you that. Okay. So that is called as the Commerce Cloud. The next one is and I also have a course on this, Experience Cloud, which was also called as Community Cloud. Now, companies that want portals for the customers, partners, or employees, like Trailhead. Trailhead is nothing but it's kind of an experience cloud, right? You basically learn a lot of stuff on Trailhead. It's like a portal. You have a username, password. Sometimes it's a guest portal. You don't even have to log in. You create that portal for either your employees or for other partners, other businesses, or for your customers. Okay, so that is what is called as Experience Cloud. You create a portal to handle your customer queries, or to handle your partners, etc. So these are self-service portals, means that will reduce the calls to your customer service. If everything you will route to customer service agents, then you will need much more agents. But if you have created a portal where they can figure out things on their own, then the demand of your customer agents will reduce, which will basically reduce your cost. And it is self-service portal, partner portals, or help centers, pretty much. And Customer Kicks customers log into a portal to track their shoe orders, download invoices, or ask support questions. So they can use this platform to do all kind of stuff. Okay, that is called as Experience Cloud or Community Cloud. The next one is Health Cloud. As the name indicates, it is used by the healthcare organizations like medical offices, other big hospitals, things like that. It helps to maintain patient management, care plans, health tracking, etc. Like if you are working into health department, you have to track the insurance card for the customers, for the patients. You have to know what doctors are there, what is their schedule, who is working on what schedule, what is the copay for each of. So everything related to a patient and a doctor and hospital will be managed under the Health Cloud. Okay, a hospital uses Health Cloud to track a patient appointments, medications, and doctor communications. And there are different systems that Health Cloud has. Like, what do you mean by that is Salesforce is not the only one that's offering Health Cloud. There are other systems which doctors use to keep track of it. But what Salesforce will do will try to get those customers and hooked to Health Cloud by showcasing what more Health Cloud can do. Okay. So that is what Health Cloud is. Financial Services Cloud, mostly used by insurance companies, banks, wealth managers, like companies like Chase Bank, uh, what do you call, whoever manages your assets. If you have like a third party to manage your stock portfolio, insurance company. So that is what the Financial Services Cloud, those are the companies who will use Financial Services Cloud. So if you are going through an auto loan or insurance, all of that will be tracked under the Financial Services Cloud. Okay, tracks the financial accounts, how many accounts you have, how much money do you have in those accounts, how many assets you have. Everything would be tracked under the Financial Services Cloud. It's a most recent one, it's not fairly old. So if you know Financial Service Cloud is a good thing to have it, and this is the course that I'm working on next after this batch finishes up. An insurance agent seals all of client policies, claims, renewal reminders in one place. That is what the Financial Service Cloud does. Any questions so far, guys, before I jump to the next topic?
I had a question, Abhika. On the Health Cloud, there is certification, but what does it mean when it says that? So basically, you have to get it through a partner company, so it's not readily available to the public? Because that's what the one I was interested in was the Health Cloud.
Okay, does anybody know? I don't know the answer to that. There should be a certificate. I think it's fairly new. Maybe they haven't come up with the certification yet, the Health Cloud. So you're saying there is no certification available for Health Cloud right now?
I think there's a certification, but I think this says that you have to do it through a partner company, and I'm now understanding. I don't know if that means that I have to get hired with the company or
I don't think
because
so.
I can't find any information on how to get certified.
In Health Cloud?
Yes.
Okay, let me find that answer for you. After the call, do send me this message and I will try to find the answer. I don't know on top of my head how this works on the Health Cloud, but I will
Mm,
try to figure out that answer. If anybody knows this about Health Cloud, do let them know.
Thank you.
Anybody has the answer what Roberto is asking?
So, Roberto, what you need is to do with a partner. You can get AirCloud through partner portal, right? Partners are those that partner with Salesforce to execute a lot of projects, right? So in the healthcare space, there are a lot of partners that basically specialize on AirCloud, and they do offer a lot of those. There are some courses like this AirCloud that are not out there in the public. The way to get it is through these partner portals for you to enroll and register and pass the exam, something like that.
Okay, let's try to get this answer right now for a few minutes.
So there's a partner website, sir?
It could be any partner. There could be any partner.
It's not a website. There are partners that are more like those that can run Salesforce projects, right? They are registered with Salesforce. You can do Salesforce projects. So those partners, through them, there are a lot of courses that you don't see that are not out in the public, even though we talk about them. So this Health Cloud, Financial Service Cloud, that typically you would have to basically take those certifications via them. Again, that's my understanding.
Oh, so you're
You can
saying
verify that.
what I understood is these certifications, you have to go through your partners like Accenture, Deloitte, these.
Correct, correct,
Okay,
correct,
okay, I got it.
correct.
So yes, so there are because certain clouds yet are not open for everybody. So you need to either, if you're working with these companies, you will have an opportunity to get these certifications faster. Roberto. So yes, you might not be able to enroll in the exam right away. Maybe they'll open it up in another 6 to 7 months. I don't think they will hold that for this long. But if you work with these of the companies, any consulting companies who are Salesforce partner, and I am looking to become a Salesforce partner, probably by end of the year, we should become a Salesforce partner, then you can go through us to get your Health Cloud certification.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so next one is Financial Service Cloud. Banks use it, insurance companies use it, wealth managers use it. Education Cloud, schools and universities use it to track their students, courses, fundraising, alumni, all your previous students, etc. So that is what Education Cloud is. Okay. Nonprofit cloud used by charities, churches, nonprofit organizations. It helps you track donors, uh, fundraising campaigns you can create and volunteer activities because it's a nonprofit. So it is going to help you track these things. So it's specially catered for nonprofit. Okay. A nonprofit tracks donations for a clean water project and manages volunteer schedules. So everything in one place. That is what nonprofit is. Right now, I won't recommend you to get into nonprofit because a lot of businesses are these nonprofit run on funds. So right now, people don't have the money to fund these kind of. So it's a good thing to start with, but I would suggest you this is not the cloud to be in right now. Just an FYI if you're thinking about it. Because yesterday I had a consultant, like somebody asked me about nonprofit, and he was working and he said it's not right time to be in nonprofit for long because the funding can be stopped at any minute. Just in additional information. Government cloud used by government agencies. It provides the secure because government things needs to be very confidential and also be very secured, right? So they have a lot of compliance standards to meet. So government cloud is very different from the other. Is city government uses it to manage citizen request, like anything to do with the road safety, or anything to do with the what do you call traffic lights, things like that. So that's the agencies, the government agencies uses government cloud. Okay, so these are the different clouds that Salesforce offers, and there are a lot more. I haven't covered all of them, but major these are the ones. Sales Cloud, it helps you track leads, deals, and revenue. Service Cloud, it manages customer support cases. Marketing Cloud, in order to run targeted campaigns to bring more leads. Commerce Cloud is for retail and online shopping. Experience Cloud is to create portals, customer portal. Analytics Cloud is made for dashboards and insights because more you know about your data, better you can scale your business. Okay. Platform is to build custom apps and objects. AI Cloud is more of Einstein predictions, and this is the fairly new cloud. So these are the different clouds Salesforce has to offer. Okay, now let's get into the first important thing is to set up an account within Salesforce. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go over to developer.salesforce.com, sign up here, and you go to the same link. I'm going to go here as well, and I'll paste it here. Okay, before we jump, anybody has any questions? Yes.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
Of those clouds that you mentioned, from your experience, what are you seeing
The growth in?
Yeah, to go for?
Financial cloud and revenue cloud. So CPQ has been changed now to revenue cloud. So there was a big demand of CPQs a couple of years back. Everybody was looking for a CPQ developer, all of that. Now CPQ has been changed and completely revamped into revenue cloud. So the clouds that you should get into is data cloud, financial cloud, revenue cloud, health cloud. So anytime, this is just from my experience, you have to have little bit of development experience, but not just development experience, you also need to have a business domain knowledge. When you combine the domain knowledge can be in any of the clouds, and the more famous these days are financial cloud, revenue cloud, data cloud, along with some development experience you build on top of that. That mix becomes a game changer for your as an opportunity, because you now not only can write code, but you also understand the business aspects of that as well. And anytime a company will hire somebody like that over just a developer who knows how to write stories and how to finish stories. Those days are gone where you're just expecting you to write your code, because now everybody can write code with the help of ChatGPT. So having the domain knowledge along with development experience, that's what's going to set you apart from rest of the crowd. Did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
I have a quick question.
Yes, Dan, go ahead.
My question is, I understand when you log into Salesforce, like I see the
Hmm.
Sales Cloud because it's based on different objects and
Hmm.
the Service Cloud.
Yeah.
Are the other clouds automatically included in Salesforce, or you
No,
purchase
you have
that
to pay
package
for them.
and then they?
You have to pay. Right now, the one that we are using is just a developer edition. So you can't run your business out of developer edition. So you have to buy those licenses in order to use them. You get a feel of everything in Developer Edition, little bit here and there, but you can't run off your business using Developer because the number of licenses are limited, number of users you can create are limited, so things like that. So you have to buy those licenses with Salesforce, whichever cloud you're interested in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sorry. My question is more like, okay, so for example, Financial Cloud.
Yeah.
In this developer account that we're creating, is Financial Cloud included in the
No,
developer
no, but there
cloud?
is, if you go to financial, there is another link I can share with you later. In the
Okay.
financial cloud, so it comes with that package. So you have to install that package. Some of the package is unmanaged, some of it is a managed package. But you can learn about financial cloud through that link if you're interested to learn more about financial cloud.
Okay, got it. So
This
you would
org, this
like
org might
download a
not
managed
come with
package.
that or but there is another Trailhead link that you can go and sign up. I have to find that myself, but I can provide you if you're interested in that.
Okay, that makes sense. So this cloud doesn't include, for example, Financial Cloud. If you
Yeah,
wanted to explore that, you'd need to find the package and then
exactly.
download Financial, then it would come with the different
Yeah, or
links
you
then.
go to Trailhead and you look for financial cloud and they will give you an org to work on.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. So here I'm going to go ahead and put mine, Kanadipika company. Now it's my own company, so I'm going to put that. No more working with any other businesses. Not a robot, sign me up. Go ahead and sign up your account as well if you want to, or you can do it later as well. Okay. So here I'm going to get an email. This is a developer edition. So it's just for your practice and learning purposes. So sometimes it takes about a few minutes to get there. So everybody has a tick mark. I need a tick mark from everybody. If not, then ask your questions now. We do have a few minutes before we jump to the next topic. Feedback, guys. I need that in like every few minutes you have to tell me you're following me. A thumbs up would be great. Nobody is giving me any thumbs ups? Oh, I'm not looking at it. Patrick, Girija, Tatiana, Kushbu. What's going on, guys? May. Awesome. Okay. I love this. I love it. Yusuf, what's going on? Sayali. I'm not going further if I don't get a thumbs up from everybody. Okay, Deepti did it. Sayali did it. Baba Nuruni. I'm not. Apologies if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. RD. Who is RD? Patrick. Okay, everybody has gone. Okay, so let's proceed. Hopefully, let me check my spam. Is everybody else able to try to create an account and see if we are able to get check your, okay, I got it. Good. So this is the org and this is my username. So I have to save this username. I'm going to save it over in my thing as well. That way. Okay. And the org is this one. So I'm going to go ahead and save this org. Okay. Okay, so this org is saved. And then we will go ahead and reset the password. reset password here. And I'm going to set up my password. See, now they are promoting Agentforce. So everything is Agentforce now. But this is good. You have your username password. Okay. So when you log in, this is what you're going to see. Okay. So here are the different, this is called as app launcher. Okay. So there are different apps that are available. You have service, marketing, community, sales console, content. All of these are different data cloud. So these are the different apps, right? And then moment you open up the app, you're going to see these tabs. Okay, so you see opportunities tab, leads, task, files, accounts. Behind the scene, a tab is linked to an object. Okay, now what is an object? What is a tab? We're going to look at in a minute, but this is how you log in, right? So you have your information here. So you go to this top right hand side. You go to, there was an old UI that used to happen, is called Salesforce Classic. So this is how the Salesforce Classic UI used to look like. It's pretty boring. A lot of people have spent a lot of time on this, but now the much more fun version is the Lightning experience, and it's pretty fast, very easy to navigate to. There is a slight bit of learning curve, but once you get used to Lightning, you won't go back to Classic. Okay. And then the next one is everything that you want to do. Right now, this has data cloud enabled in it, service setup, developer console is where you're going to write code. Okay. So this is being used by developers to write their code inside of it. Then you have is a help one. Salesforce help is here. This is a guided setup if you want like a when you launch, if you want like define your sales process, things like that, you can do it. Not it is outside the scope of the course. And here is your notifications. So anything new that's happening, you will get notified through this. Okay. Now, when you log in to here, settings, you will see an important thing. You go to advanced user details and you will see that this is your name, this is your email, this is your username. Okay. And on the right side, there is a thing called license. Under the license, there is a thing called profile, which is very, very important. Anytime a user is created inside of Salesforce, you will get a profile assigned to that user. There cannot be a user without a profile. Now, what does the profile does? Profile controls the visibility of the application, what things you see, what can you do, what apps do you see, what tabs do you see under that app, can you create a new record, can you delete a record? All that thing is controlled by a profile. Okay, that is what a profile is. Now we will talk about roles and all of that, but you have to always remember that every user, that any user you create, you will have a profile assigned to that user. Okay, if you scroll down, you will think about permission sets. Permission sets is additional permissions you give to a particular user. So right now, this particular user has all these permission sets. Okay, additional permissions, additional things on top of profile. Okay, let's say you're working in a team. You're working in a team of 5 people, and you're working on a project. So all of you have the same access to the application because you're all working on that project. But let's say one of the individual was very smart and he got an additional project to work on, right? So for the time being, not forever, but for the timing, he's been also included in a separate project. Right. So instead of giving him a brand new profile just for him, you can give that additional access through permission sets. That's where the permission sets will come into picture, right? I'm just giving you like a touch base with you right now, but we will go once we go deeper into it. So this is all these permission sets that particular user has. Like if you want to give additional permissions to a user for a timing, then you will go through permission sets. Anything to do with record level access, like what records do you see in the system, that is controlled via roles or sharing rules, etc. Okay, just if you are not understanding it, don't worry about it. Then you have, if you want to change your password, a lot of time, I wanted to talk about this one. Okay, so what happens is a lot of times you have to raise a ticket with Salesforce when you're working in a real world, right? There might be a flow error that you are not able to resolve it, or something that is related to Salesforce, okay, outside the scope of what your company is dealing with. Then what you do is you raise a ticket with Salesforce. Salesforce is going to come. They will ask you one thing. They will ask you to give them access. Okay, so you can give that way, they will be able to see your org. What is the issue with the org? They will be able to debug the issue for you. And what level of access you should give it to them. You can give them 1 day access, 3 day access, 1 week, 1 month. So this is how you give them the access. You come over to grant account login access and you give them the access for that day to help you, and they will come and see what's going on with your org. Okay. So going back here, we created the account. We learned about the different clouds. And then we learned about the different clouds here. And then the next one is main objects in these Sales Cloud. Now, before we jump into these objects and all, I want to talk about this thing. Okay. This is a very old presentation I have. So everything in Salesforce behind the scene is an object. Now, what is an object? Object is nothing but, think of it like a table. Okay, Salesforce is nothing but it's a good looking tables. Object is, this is how, let's say you created an object called account. We don't, behind the scene, it's a table, account table. We don't call it table, we call it as an object in Salesforce. Now, the columns that you have on the table, right? They are called as fields in Salesforce. Okay, so the terminology is slightly different. So account object, account is called an object, but it is nothing but a table. Account can have fields like account name, account address, what type of account it is, all of that. So those are the columns on that table is called as fields in Salesforce. Okay, so we don't call them as columns, we call them as fields. And the data that you're going to store in those accounts, right? You're going to store, let's say, your customer information or your business and other business information. That is called as records in Salesforce, records, okay, which are nothing but rows. So here, this is like a table, right? So name, email ID, address, date of birth, salary. These are the different points of information you're capturing. So this is called as fields. Name is a field on the, let's say that we're talking about contact object. So name is a field on the contact object. Email ID is a field. Address is a field. Date of birth is a field. Salary is a field. And each of these fields might capture different pieces of information and different data types. Okay. Name is what? Everybody's names is going to be in letters. No, I haven't seen a name with numbers in it, right? So it's a text field. Email, you're going to store email is usually in the format of @ and then yahoo.com or gmail.com. So there is a field, a data type called email, which just only stores email information. Date of birth, salary. Salary is a currency information, right? It's a currency data type. So there are different data types are also available when you're creating a particular field on an object. So what is a table? Table in Excel sheet is called as an object in Salesforce. Column of the table is called as fields in Salesforce. And rows of the table is called as records in Salesforce. Very simple. So if I go back to here, opportunity, these are the tab, right? Opportunity is nothing but a table behind the scene. And if I click on new, these are the different fields that are available on this opportunity object. Okay, so there's a field called opportunity name. There's a field called close date. There's a field called stage. And there are different types of fields. Like this is a pick list. I'll tell you the different data types. This is a date field. This is a plain currency field. All you can store, if you try to store anything else, then you might get an error. It's an invalid numeric field because it's an amount field. Only value it is accepting is a number. Okay. This is a lookup field, like you are searching for another account, tying an account to this opportunity. What is a lookup field? What are the different? We'll take a look at it in a minute. This is just to give you an overview. This is another pick list field. So this is nothing but behind the scene objects, and you can see Salesforce has already given you some data. Okay, you pin this. This is called as a list view, and we pin this. So this is existing data that is available. These are called as records or records of the opportunity object. Okay. Any questions so far, guys?
So the rows are the individual data that you put in there, like a date or a name?
No, the rows are
That's
basically this. So Burlington Textile of weaving generator is an opportunity. This whole thing, this number one is called as a row. Does it make sense? Like here, if I go to a contact, right? And let's say we click on, what happened here? They're not showing me all the contacts. Okay, let's go to all accounts. So this Burlington Textile, it's a record. Dickinson PLC is a record. Record is nothing but the rows. The complete row is called as a record. So for a customer, you're capturing different pieces of information. So you're capturing the name of the customer, you're capturing his email address, you're capturing his phone number, you're capturing his mailing address, you're capturing his salary. So that whole 5 pieces of information that you're capturing makes that one record for that customer. Does that make sense?
okay. It makes sense. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. And then here, this one field, this account name is a field. Billing state is a field. You're capturing different pieces of information for that particular record. So here, if I go back, this makes the whole table. Table is nothing but an object. And then inside of that table, you have different columns, because a table will have a column and rows, right? So just say if you go and open an Excel sheet, very simple. If you open an Excel sheet and I say, hey, I need to store all my customer information. Now, what type of customer information you want to store, right? So you're going to first start with the name of the customer. Then you're going to ask for the phone number of the customer. Then the next one would be the address of the customer. Then will be the, what do you call, age of the customer. And then let's say we wanted to know the salary, or not the salary, but I would say email address. Okay, these are the first thing is these are the columns that you have created. So name is a column, phone is a column, but we don't call them as columns, we call them as fields. And then first name is Roberto, let's say. Then this is this is his phone number, address is, let's say, lives in Prosper, age is 30, email is roberto@yahoo.com, let's say. So this becomes a one record. And similarly, I can create another record, Deepti's, that can be another record. So it becomes, so we don't call them as a table, we call them as objects in Salesforce. Columns are called as fields in Salesforce, and the rows are called as records in Salesforce. Simple. Now coming back to here, any application you open, these are different applications. Sales application, there is a marketing application, there is a service application, right? Each of these applications have bunch of tabs associated with it, right? Service application comes with account, contacts, cases, reports, and dashboards. These are nothing but tabs, right? Tab is what to easily access the object behind the scene. That is what a tab is, to easily access the object behind the scene. So in order to access account table, they created a tab for it. Okay. In order to access the contact table, they created a contact tab for it. So any application is basically a combination of tabs. Okay. And tab is nothing but linking to a particular object. You always remember one tab will only be associated with one object. So behind the scene, there is object one, and it has a tab for it. You not always have to create a tab for every object, but if you want that object to be easily accessible, you will create a tab for it. Okay. Now, access of that application. So the bunch of tabs, bunch of objects make up the application. Now, access for that particular application is given through profiles. Okay, so let's say there are a lot of standard profiles. Profile control the visibility. What you can see in Salesforce will be defined by what profile you have. Okay, and the control of that application is given to different profile. Let's say system admin profile has access to everything. Standard user profile does not have access to a lot of things. So the access is given through the profile, and every user has to have a profile. There can be two users with the same profile as well, but every user in Salesforce has to have a profile. Now, what profile does, I'll show you in a minute. Okay. So right now, if you go to here and we go to settings and we go to advanced user details, right? So I told you this is the system administrator profile, right? Now, this is one of the, like, this is the majority access you can get. So system admin is basically is the backbone. He does everything. He has access to everything. He can delete you as a user. He can freeze you. He can do whatever he wants. Okay. So, and when you're working in real world, and if you are an admin or a developer, you will have a system admin access up till test org, or sometimes depending on what company policy is, they might give you a little bit of production access as well. Okay, but majority in your developer account, sorry, in your test account, and then they'll also give you a development org. Those you will be a system admin. Okay, so you will always have full access because you have to create flows, you have to write code. In order to do all of that, you need to have a system admin access. Okay, so here, this is the profile. This, you can see here, this is the profile. The name of the profile is Salesforce, and every profile has to have tied to a license. And then what users have the same profile right now, this is the default user that got created, and this is myself, my user account that got created. So I do have the system admin profile. Now, if I go to system admin profile, and if you edit it, okay, right now you see access, you see all this, right? You see all these apps. I can take away this access. I can say, hey, you are not allowed to see any of it. So I'm going to go ahead and uncheck these applications. This is one thing you can do with the profile. You can take away the access of the applications from, and the moment you do that, so if I hit save here, and I updated the permissions of the profile. If I go here, I don't see anything anymore. I only see two apps because I took away that access from that profile. Whoever has that profile will not see any of those applications anymore. Okay, so application is not the only thing profiles control. Profiles control what kind of tabs you're going to see. So you can see here, tab settings. So if I go here, I'm going to give back the access. Stop me whenever you want, guys, okay? If there is a question, I don't want you to just sit there and wait for me to ask. You can just pause me at any point. And if you're thinking I'm going too fast, you let me know. And if you want me to repeat anything, you let me know. So here I am giving back all the access of all the apps to this system admin profile, okay? So basically, this is what I'm going to explain it to you one more time, because this is a very important concept. So you have, 1 second. Okay. So you have a thing called as object. Okay. Object in Salesforce will have a tab associated with it. Okay. In order to easily access that. Wait a minute. This. Tab. Okay. It's not working that good. Object in Salesforce is going to have a tab associated with it, and tab makes a bunch of tabs make up the application. Leave it. I think the better is just through giving it through here. Okay, so bunch of objects make up the applications, and access of those application is given through the profiles. Okay, and every user in Salesforce has to have a profile. Similarly, if I go here, these were the, what did we change? We changed the custom app settings. Similarly, there are 3 different types of settings for the tab. Okay, tab hidden means you won't be able to see the tab at all. Default on, default off means, default on means you'll be able to see the tab. Default off would be you won't be able to see the tab directly, but you have to go through one level deep to see the tab. We'll tell you the difference here in later on because we haven't gone through profiles yet. So you can control what tabs do you see through these settings. Similarly, if you scroll down, these are administrative permissions, right? What kind of administrative access that they are there. So that also is controlled by the profiles. Then you have is general user permissions. Again, something that is profiles control. What object permissions do you on the account object? What kind of access do you have? Do you have read access on all the records, create access, edit access, delete access? What kind of access do you have on these will be controlled by profile also. Means, are you able to create a new record? Are you able to delete a record? All that is controlled by the profile. Okay, view all, modify all is a very special permission which tells you no matter what profile, no matter what access you have, you will be able to see everything. View all and modify all is a permission. You have to be very careful who do you want to give it to. With system admin, it is okay, but you can't give it to a standard user of giving a view all and modify all. You have to be very careful when you give this kind of access. And when you go to a real world, you will see a lot of people have done those mistakes, because when you do that, people who are not supposed to see records will also see records. You don't want people who are not privileged to have the access. They shouldn't be getting that access to those records. Okay, so view all and modify all is a very special permissions. It's setting up your session timeout, how much session timeout is, you can do that. How frequently the passwords needs to expire, you can set up all of that. So this is what a profile does. A profile controls the visibility of the applications. Okay, guys. So tell me any questions you have before we proceed. Needs a thumbs up or questions?
I have a question, Deepika.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the so the system admin seems to have almost like complete control over
Yes.
the Salesforce area. Who has more access than the admin?
Nobody.
So
No.
not even the higher bosses should have more
No.
access.
The record level access, they might have it, but in order to create flows or do something with the, like, there's 2 things: metadata access and record level access. Metadata access basically means what objects do you see. If you want to do anything related to objects, like creating new fields, things like that. So there's a very important concept here. There's a concept of test org and production. Okay.
Yes.
Is everybody clear with what is the difference between a test org and a production org? Okay, Tatiana says.
Yes, sort of. Yes.
Okay. What about me? Do you know what is the difference here?
The
No?
org is a test org, the sandbox.
Yes, sandboxes. So in the real world, in production, you might not even have a read access as a Salesforce administrator. You might not be even allowed to be in production. Okay, only bosses will have access. The people who are actually using the sales team might have access. Your bosses might have access. But in the lower orgs, in the sandboxes, you might be system admin. But in the higher orgs, only few people will be able to have the access to the real data, right? So system admin will have every kind of access. Generally, the developers are only given system admin access up till the partial org. If you are very good, you're very experienced, they might give you up till production. But very few people, especially in the federal government while I was working, I didn't have access to production. They don't give me because they don't want me to do anything in production because I can literally shut their systems. So in the sandboxes, you will have system admin access. But in the higher orgs and production, where the real data sits, where the customer information is there, where their SSN is stored, you might not even have access to log into the system. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So in the sandbox orgs, which is the lower orgs where you're actually practicing and building things, you will be a system admin. But in higher orgs where you're actually doing the business, the company is actually running, the website is live, there you might not have any access to even log in. So that is but the majority access is system admin. There's nobody bigger than system admin.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. What else?
Quick question, Deepika.
Yes, ma'am.
So when you're talking about like in databases, right, you have the instances, you have different, like you said, in prod, you would not have access and things like that. So when you're actually defining the access based on just the data or metadata, or like how do you differentiate between that, like in terms of, so is there any kind of indexing or anything that happens on this data? Like how does it work?
That is something we will learn later.
Okay.
So there are two ways of differentiating. You have access through the metadata, like objects, things like that, but you also have the control over the records, right? What data
Uh-huh.
inside of accounts. So there is a concept of organization-wide settings. We will learn a little bit later when we talk about profiles and permission sets and record level sharing. There you can differentiate that, okay, this individual will only have access to the records they created, but if you're a manager, you will have access to the people beneath you or in the subordinates who reports to you. So the record level access is controlled through roles and sharing rules, whereas like metadata in like objects, permissions on the objects, what fields do you see, that is controlled by profiles and permission sets.
Okay. And then how do you differentiate the access? So for example, you have sysadmin access on the lower instances, like you have the sandbox, and then
Okay.
you have for the prod. So how is it
Okay, so
maintained in
I'll tell.
separate?
Yes, I got your
Yeah.
question. So when you log in, whenever you are in the real world, in order to log into any lower orgs, you will use test.salesforce.com. Okay, and every org you will have a different username. So for example, dev1 would be one dot qa. Let's say your username, let me show you. Let's say my username is deepika.khanna at ftic.gov.dev. Okay, that is my username for the developer org where I can do anything. That's my org where I can write code, I can write flows, etc. But if I go to a test org, my username would be something like ftic.gov.test. Okay.
Mhm.
So the profile I have, the access that I have in dev, the profile that I have in dev might not be the same profile I have in test. Similarly, there might be another org the company is using for QA, right? So there will be another username that I will have, khanna at ftic.gov.qa. And then here in the prod, it will be very simple, khanna at ftic. That's it, .gov.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
So
so for ex- yeah, go
let me
ahead.
finish. Let me finish. So this is a dev. So every time you go to a real world, you will have test or test.salesforce. So anytime you have to log into the lower orgs, sometimes they also set up their own domain URL. Like you don't have to go through test.salesforce.com. You will have a proper URL. For test would be different, for QA would be different, for dev would be different. You go there, you log in with that specific username and password, and you log into that sandbox. But if you have to log into production, it'll always be login.salesforce.com. Okay. And you will provide your username. You can see here, Sisto, this is one company's user with this company he works. It'll always be production URL. So anything with login.salesforce means it's a production instance. Anything with test, it's a sandbox.
Okay.
Okay. And the profiles that you have in the sandboxes might not be the same profile that you have in production. In sandboxes, I might have a system admin profile, but in sandbox, I might be a read-only user.
Mm.
In the production,
Yeah,
I might be a read-only user where I only have access to reading things. I don't have access to do anything. So it will be different for different orgs. It will be different for different sandboxes.
correct. Because you're giving the permissions based on what access you want to provide for each user in that profile, right?
In that org, in that
In
particular
that org.
sandbox. Yeah.
And then where do you maintain these profiles? So you have generally password files on, the other.
No, so here, this is where the profiles are. So if you go
Okay.
here, there is a thing called profiles. So these are all the profiles that Salesforce has. These are the standard list of profiles. Now you can create, let's say system admin, this is your system. You can clone a specific profile. You can click on the clone button and you can duplicate this profile and create your own profile and you can customize it.
Okay. And so users is like an app or is it like an object?
User is an object.
Object. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Users, if you go here, these are all the users that got created. So when you go into your real world, you're going to see different users that are there in your org, and they will have a certain profile linked to them. And
Okay,
active means they are active. The moment you uncheck this, they won't be able to log into the system.
correct. Okay, got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
What else, guys? Okay, Roberto, I got it. I got a thumbs up from Roberto, Seali, Tatiana. Um, very good. May, Gurija. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so I can proceed. Guys, any feedback? I want you to understand that this has to be separate from my Udemy courses. More questions you ask me, more information you're gonna get. More prepared you come, more better I'll be able to help. Okay, so feel free to challenge me.
I got a quick question.
Okay, Dan, what's up?
So if you can go into the Salesforce admin profile,
Okay. Okay, what's going on?
there we go. So I understand at the top you were looking at the access to the apps, and
Yes.
then it showed the tabs underneath that.
Yes. Default on, default off, tab hidden.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Then if you go down, if you keep scrolling down to the bottom, then it shows the different objects,
Yes.
and it's showing you the read, create, edit, delete.
Yes.
Um, the simple question, do you have to go to the individual object then and change if you wanted to like not allow them to delete access on the account, on the account object, where would you change that? It's
So
not in the profile, I guess.
you don't so you basically clone this profile and you create a custom profile of system admin and then you can change it.
So I don't see like an edit option in the
Yes.
standard object permission section.
So basically, because they don't, one second. Right now, if I go here, click on edit. You scroll down. On standard objects, they haven't given you in developer org the way to uncheck it. You can see here. But let me see one thing. Let me do one most important thing here. Let's go ahead and clone it. Okay. And let's call it as SA system admin custom. Okay. And we do this. And you go ahead and click on edit. This is your custom profile now. Okay. Here, you can change it now. You can see here.
Very cool. Yep, very, very cool. Thank you for showing that. That makes sense.
So on they don't want you to change their standard out of the box profile. But then what you'll do now then you will give this custom profile to the system admins, which you shouldn't do it idly, because system admin should have everything access. But generally what you'll do with your profiles is, let's say we talk about another profile, like a read-only profile. Then you will customize it, you will change it to your own, and then you'll be able to make changes.
That makes so much sense. Thank you for explaining that.
Okay. What else, guys?
Yeah, hi Deepika, I have a question.
Go ahead.
So, yeah, so in accounts in this space, we have a checkbox view all fields. So if I go and click here the view all fields, and from FSL we not giving the permission to see this profile, then what is the
This
difference?
permission will override that. View all
Okay.
fields means on that particular object, you have access to every field.
Okay, so FSL is doesn't matter in this
A field level
scenario.
security, if view all fields, I believe that's a very good question. And I have to ask ChatGPT for this one. View all fields is going to give you access to view all the fields. But here, if you go to an individual object, you're talking about the
No, I'm talking like if I give the permission from profile view all fields, and if I not give the permission from FSL field level security, then what will be happen to the user?
that is something we have to test it. I don't
Okay.
Yeah, that's something we have to test it. I don't want to give you wrong information.
Yeah.
If I go to the account, let's do this one thing. That's a very good question. Why don't we just try it? So here, first thing is we'll create a user. Okay. And the way to create a user is through here. You create a new user. And let's say we go Kushbu. Verma is the user. You create a new user. Kushbu, ping your email.
Yeah, sure.
And you have very limited licenses. Okay, so you can see here under Salesforce, I will only get like 2 to 3 licenses under Salesforce. So you have to be mindful of what you're using.
Okay. Yeah, I have pinged my email ID.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to give email here. This is something we have to test it. SFDC username is same. I'm going to give it to you. And the profile here, I'm going to give you a custom system admin profile. Okay. And then here it will generate a new user. So this is a new user I am creating for Kushbu. So Kushbu is going to get a verify password button, and then she will be able to log into the URL and she will have this profile. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we will go over to the system admin profile and we'll edit it. If somebody is not following me, it's okay, because this question was a little bit advanced. So you can not worry about it at the moment. This is because she has a doubt. We're just quickly doing it. So here on the account object, I will give her view all fields. Okay. But I will take away. So I'm going to go ahead and do this and then hit save. So from the account, I've given the view all fields access. But if I go to the account object, field level security, if I go here to the account field level security, edit it, there might be certain, because there will be certain things I will go ahead and remove it. You view all fields still have it. So let me see. Edit access I'm taking away.
Like we can check for one field.
I want to make sure. I want to check for everything, just because I don't know, because system admin, we are cloning off of system admin. So that's why it is very, okay. Let's just do this one. So in account name, you do have access. Account number, you have read access. So see, you have read access on everything. So view all fields. See, it is not customized. Even if I'm unchecking it, it doesn't allow it because it's a system admin profile. Let me give you a different profile then.
It's okay. An account number, we can check for the edit permission.
No,
Oh, no. Yeah.
you can't because
Yes.
it gives you view all fields. Let me just Google it. Okay, so this is what you have to remember. So if you will have, this is what it says, if you have more broader access through a profile and a restrictive access through a permission set, the restrictive access would be the one that will be applied. Does that make sense? So here it is saying, if a user has a profile with read access to a field and a permission set with edit access to the same field, you will only have read access.
So basically, the lower of the two takes precedence, actually, right? Because the read will be lower than the
most
edit.
restrictive wins. Okay, so this is another important thing. Permissions like view all data or modify all data do not override field level security. Users still need specific field permissions to access those fields. This is where we need to do. Does the modify all data or view all data permissions allow a user profile to ignore the FLS settings for an object? That is in this case, but I found conflict results. Modify all data and view all data do not in any way affect field level security. The only permission that affects field level is edit read-only fields. Apex Code generally ignores field level security while Visual generally honors this. This is the reason why is accessible calls are available. This with shading and without shading refer to the record visibility and record editability, not field accessibility. See, when you say modify all data and view all data, you're talking about the data. You're not talking about the particular fields in that on that object.
Yes.
Okay, so you will have access to the data, but the field level is going to be read only. The only permission that affects field level security, it edit read only fields. Like, do you have access to that particular read access on that? But modify all data will give you more. We need to try it. Because this was a new one they have added. View all fields is checked for a profile, but FLS has no read permission. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
This is what your question is, right?
Yes.
Okay. So even if you have view all fields, if you don't have it on field level field security, you will not see that. So field level security will take precedence.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this is what it's saying.
Yes.
To
Yes.
grant access, you must also set the field to visible under the FLS setting for that object, ensuring both the object level permission and field level are configured correctly. That was a good question. So even if you have view all fields, but you don't have FLS, you won't see that field. And as a homework, Khushbu, you test it.
Yes. Yes, sure.
Okay? As a homework, you test it. Because since you're a little bit advanced, you should test that and confirm that. Okay? What else, guys? Great question.
So, hey,
Thank you,
so
Deepika.
to sum this up, so I think can we say this that the least restrictive access takes precedence, like what we saw earlier? So
Yes.
in the sense that profile is a much larger access control, then comes permission sets, then comes field level security. So I think always like the least.
Will take precedence, correct?
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Okay, so we did it now. Then shall I proceed, guys, to the next topic?
I quite don't understand this because on one of your courses on Udemy, you had said that the permission set cannot take away.
Okay, very good. But now there is a concept of restrictive rules. Have you heard of those? So now they've introduced something called as restrictions. Those also takes into precedence. So permission sets will give you more access.
Right.
Right? So what I'm talking about is, let's say in a profile, you have mentioned that particular user doesn't have field level security, but in the permission set, you didn't touch it. It will still look back at the profile.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if you have given a read access on that field, but edit access through the permission set, it will take the edit access on the permission set because you have now given another access on it to that user because of the permissions that he has.
Can I quickly add something? I think so. What Deepika meant in her Udemy course was particularly with permission sets. Permission sets are used to grant additional access, but not to revoke existing access.
Exactly.
That's what she meant.
Right.
And this particular question is something else. Like if your broader control access, like profile, has access to a particular field or an object versus your lower scope control, like field level security, restricts that access, then you cannot have access, although your profile has access.
Within the profile,
This is what is called as like the least. So the least scope, the most restrictive one, should also have access. So I think these are two disconnected things. I would don't get confused. I think it's easy to get confused there. Permission sets is that's right.
Okay.
So permission sets is like a completely different ball game. It's only used to give additional access, but it cannot take away the existing access.
So over there, guys, and we will talk about it when we get there. But within that profile, right? If you just talk about that setup in the profile, at one point you're saying view all fields on account, but then later down you're saying only no access to that field. So that person will not have access to that field, even though you have enabled that checkbox. Does that make sense? Patrick, does it make sense?
Yeah, it does make perfect sense.
Okay. So you have to look at that particular profile. Permission set is to give additional access, but within that same profile, at one point you're saying view all fields, and then later on in the account, you're saying, okay, no access, then this should take precedence.
Right. Perfect.
Okay,
Thank you.
But if you have given a permission, now the next one is you gave a permission set. In that permission set, you said edit access on fields. Then this permission set will take precedence. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Awesome. I think we are jumping the gun here, guys. You guys are going way too ahead of me right now.
One quick question, Deepika.
Yes, ma'am.
Why would you want to give you all access and then restrict it at the field level? It doesn't make any sense, right? You want
Because
to
sometimes a lot of people do it out of mistakes, and sometimes you just want to do it temporarily for just to test something, but not. Those are the things you shouldn't like view all, modify all. You need to be very careful with those things. You shouldn't blindly give that just to resolve your story. A lot of time people just, in order to resolve your query, they just give it, but they don't understand the implications behind the scenes. So you have to be very careful when you're giving these view all, modify all, and view all fields kind of access to the people.
Yeah, I'm thinking of a use case. Why would you want to do that? Because they're both contradictory. Like you're saying view all, and then you're restricting it at the field level,
Yes,
right?
it
Doesn't
can
make
be
any
just
sense.
yes, it could just sometimes it could be a user error. Sometimes it's because whoever is the BA might not at one point he'll say, oh, he needs all the data, but access, but then you shouldn't blindly go for that. You should see the implications of doing it.
Exactly. Okay.
Okay. So guys, let's go on. Anybody else have any questions? Okay. Now I want to talk about two important things, standard and custom objects. Okay, and then we'll go back to the different objects that are available under sales and service and all of that. So standard object is out of the box objects that are given to you by Salesforce. Okay, so Salesforce have already given you an account object. Salesforce has already given you a contact object to store contact information. Those are called as standard objects in Salesforce. But as per your business needs, you can also create your own custom objects. Okay. Now, the way to figure out which is a custom object or which is a standard object, the standard object does not end with underscore underscore C, whereas a custom object in Salesforce always ends with underscore underscore C. Okay, so how do I see all the objects? So I will log in. Okay, guys, need to log in first. So we'll go here. Do I remember my username? I have to go to my Gmail and I need to remember my username. This is my username. Okay, I don't want to register my phone. Okay, so I'm logged in. Anything you want to do, you come to the setup. Okay, and here is the object manager. Another thing I wanted to ask guys before I proceed, I hope I'm going in the flow. Like I don't want to touch topics randomly. So you have to tell me if I'm going in the flow. If I'm not, then you let me know. Everybody good with so far what I've taught? Need a thumbs up from everybody. Okay. Okay, everybody's good. I'm going to proceed now. So these are all the objects that are there within the Salesforce system. Okay, and you can see here it says standard object, right? So and we will talk about account because that's the most commonly used object. And then here on the left side, it will have something called as what are the different fields and relationship that are there for this account. These are the different fields that are available on this particular account object, like account name, account number, account owner. These are the fields. And what type of data the field has, that is defined by the data type. So there is a field data type. Name is just to store text information. Text field, lookup to the user. We'll talk about lookup in master detail. Text field again, pick list field means it's defined set of values for that. Currency is there. So these are the different data types. Now, anytime there is a standard objects and there are also some standard fields. So when you create a new object, automatically certain fields get added to that object as well. But on a standard object, you can also add custom fields. And the way to do it by clicking the new button. On the account object, if you want to add a new field, the first thing you will select is what is the type of the field, means what kind of data will be stored in that particular field. And these are the different options to choose from. If you want to store a percentage, you will choose this option. If you want to store a phone number kind of data, you will choose this option. Okay. So what type of data that field is going to store, you will select from here. So let's go and talk about each of these. Auto number. Auto number means it's a system generated sequence number that uses a display format you define. So when you're creating a new object, or you can set up an auto number field, which will basically every time you add a new record, this number will be incremented automatically. So the first record you added, the number would be 1. Second record will be added, the number of this field will jump up to 2, 3, 4, etc. Formula field, roll up summary, lookup relationship, external, we will see when we get there. Very simple checkbox. It's just to represent a true or false value. So things like, hey, are you a US citizen? The answer to that question is either going to be a yes or a no. Are you green card holder? Yes or no. Are you self-employed? Yes or no. So if you have to capture these type of information, you're going to use something called as checkboxes. Then you have is currency. If you want to capture somebody's salary, if you want to capture revenue for the company, if you want to capture total sales amount, those are the fields that you will use something called as currency to capture that. Date, if you want to capture somebody's birth date, if you want to capture the closing date of the opportunity, or if you want to capture anything related to dates, you will use the date field here. Okay, date field has no information about the time. Date time, if you want to capture the meeting time, hey, what time are we supposed to meet? And that also has to have a date as well as time along with it. So you're going to choose date time. Email, to store somebody's email address. That way you can send an email to them. Geolocation is latitude and longitude. Okay, to calculate distance. So there was a company somebody worked with. There was a trash collector company. Over there, they worked in New York City to collect trash. Over there, they have this geolocation field. Okay, what is the latitude and longitude from where they have to pick up the trash? So those kind of things you will use. Number, if somebody just wanted to capture the age or quantities of a product, things like that. Okay, that is number. Percentage, 20% profit. Okay, allows you to enter the percentage number. So automatically the percent sign will be added at the end. Capturing the phone number. Okay, pick list. Pick list is very, very important. If you have a predefined set of values, okay, so let's say you don't want a user to enter something stupid, right? Let's say you have stages of an opportunity, new, prospecting, like these are fixed set of values, and you want to make sure that user only selects from those fixed set of values. You create a pick list, and in a pick list, you can only pick up one option at a time. Then you have a multi-select pick list. If you want, it works as similar to pick list, you can select multiple options from at one point in time. Okay, so you can select 2 or more values. That is a multi-select pick list. But you define the set of list, you define the pick list options beforehand, and the values can only fall from that category. You cannot pick up your own value outside the range of the pick list values. Okay, text, simple text field. If you want to capture somebody's name, it's a combination of letters and numbers. Text area means you will get a little bit more characters to add, up to 255 characters on separate lines, means one line, then second line. Text area long, it allows up to have these many characters on separate lines. Text area rich allows up to have the same number of characters, but you can format the text, means you can add images, you can add links, you can format the text. That is the text area rich. Encrypted means text which is entered in the encryption form. Okay, if let's say SSN or social security number or employee number or a TIN number. So if you wanted to have it encryption, then you will use text encrypted. Time, if you just want to capture the time, you're not interested in the date, just the time, you will use the time. URL is website URL. All of that will be captured under here. Okay, that is the field in order to do that. So I'm going to select a text field. Here, the next thing is you're going to enter a field label. Let's say we're going to enter things like, give me a field name. I was supposed to add it. We will delete this field, test field, okay? Please enter the maximum length for a text field below. Means how many characters should this field be allowed to have? You have up to 255 characters, so you can give, let's say 18 characters is the maximum it is allowed. Description, what is the field used for? Help text means that this eye icon will appear next to the field, and you can enter something for that. That is basically to give more information why that field is used. What is that field used for? Is it a required field? You will check this checkbox. means you cannot save the record until you provide the value for the required field. So you have to be very careful when you check this checkbox, because if you make every field required, people will have hard time filling up that form, right? So less the barrier, the better. Unique. Do not allow duplicate values. So if you set up the unique, means every value in every record has to be unique. And sometimes you can say ABC and small letter ABC should be considered as case duplicate values, which is case insensitive or case sensitive. So you can choose between the two. External ID. This is a very important concept. External ID, set this field as a unique record identifier from an external system. Okay, let me explain to you what is external ID, right? Pay attention, guys. So external ID basically is, let's say we have a different system. Salesforce is one system. We have a different system, is in all the orders are placed in that system. Now we are bringing the data from that order system into Salesforce, right? Over there also, every record should be uniquely identified, right? They will have a unique ID for every order. So if we are bringing those orders into Salesforce, we will mark this order ID as an external ID field. That tells you that, okay, this is a unique field in an external system. This field represents that record ID exists outside of the system. Does it make sense to you? It's a unique record identifier from an external system. Very important concept. What is external ID?
Example of external system?
What is it?
Can you give an example? What would be an external system?
External system can be like an order processing system. Let's say right now you are just bringing Salesforce into your company. You're not using Salesforce to its full potential. And up till this point, you had a separate system. It could be a SAP system built on RDBMS or can be a different Salesforce instance completely. And orders are being stored and captured in that system. Now, for some reason, you need to show those orders or you need to reflect those orders inside of Salesforce. So you will either do a REST call or bring those orders one by one. That particular record in that order system, that record ID, you will mark it as external ID. So you on your side, you will say something like orders. You create a custom object, and order ID will be marked as an external ID, which represents that there is a system outside of Salesforce which stores all the orders, and this order ID is an external ID for that system. Does it make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Everybody else clear on external ID? We will learn a little bit more about external ID, but this is just to get you an idea on what an external ID is, the concept of external ID. So if you read here, set this field as a unique record identifier from an external system.
Deepika, a quick question. So how would you link the two? There will be something that links it, right?
Okay, that we can either see the linkage you say is you can create I know what you're saying.
Okay.
You can create a formula of, let's say, the order ID system is this one, order rdbms.com/1234. Okay, so you can click on this link and you will open up that order. So on your side, I will tell you a different system. Let's talk about loans, because I've worked in something like that before. Loans, right? So there is a loan system which has every loan record has a loan number or loan ID. Okay. And your external system's URL is Wells Fargo loans. I'm just giving it up .com/loan ID. Okay. So in your system, let's say loans are present in a different system. Okay. And you have an object under opportunity, which represents similar to what loan is. Okay. So in Salesforce, you have opportunity and the loan system has loans. So on your opportunity record, you will create a custom field and you will say loan ID, and the name of the field will be loan ID. And this loan ID would be, let's say this is the number. Okay, and you will mark this as an external ID. Here, you can also create a formula field. We will know what formula field is in a minute. Formula field, and you will say www.wellsfargo.com/this, and this is what the loan ID would be. You can click on that link, it'll take you to that system. That's how you can link it. That's how you can view it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah, that's what I mean. There will have to be some linkage between
Yes.
the two, right? Once you
Yeah,
say
you
it.
can
Yeah.
and I think Patrick had that question. So you understand. So from in our Salesforce, we have opportunity records, and in the loans, we are capturing the loan system is completely different. But in that system, every loan record has a unique ID. So you're storing that system's ID in a custom field on your site, and you're marking it as an external ID. That is the concept of external ID. Okay.
Deepika,
Yes,
Sally
ma'am.
here. Do we use it for, I mean, like integration purposes?
Yes, that is the
Yeah,
main purpose of this. We use
yeah,
it for integration.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Add auto add to custom report type. So whenever you're creating reports, then you want this field to
Hey, quick,
automatically add it. Yes, go ahead.
quick, quick question, Deepika. So just trying to, um, if can I just use a unique field instead of external ID? I'm trying to understand
No, so
what
unique
is the
field.
value add for external ID.
So,
Although it is like a unique number,
okay.
it represents like an ID from an like S4 HANA or something else. I get that, but what is like the additional value add from a unique versus an external ID?
Yes, very good question. Basically, external ID tells you when you mark something as external ID, it right away says that this ID is a unique identifier from a record which is present in an external system. That's what it tells you. Unique, you can set it up on SSN field. You can set it up on an account number field. But if you mark something as external ID that tells you there is an external rec system and the record is, the ID is present in an external system. That's what the purpose of external ID is.
Right, I understand the purpose, but is it like offering anything over and above a unique field? That is the reason why the programmers use that?
No, external ID is
Or
just
is it only for identification purposes,
is only for
saying that, okay,
identification
this is
purposes.
just
So
an external?
you will
Okay,
mark it as external and unique together. That way you want to keep your system clean. Unique
got it.
Unique only tells you that this particular value should always be unique. And you can do these for different types of fields. Your SSN should be unique for every record, or your employee ID should be unique for every record. But if you mark employee ID as external also, that tells you that that employee record is stored outside of Salesforce.
So this is more for like readability when we probably look at the data model
Yes.
or
Yeah.
so that,
From
okay, yeah.
also
Okay.
to say that, okay, the actual whole record is is stored outside of Salesforce.
Right. So, okay. Thanks.
Okay. Does that make sense, guys? I can like, if you want me to repeat, let me know. Okay, so this is external ID. We mark it as external ID. That means that particular field identifies from another system. And then next here again, okay, field level security for profile. Now, these are the different profiles that are existing in your Salesforce. And if you see here, we created a custom profile that also is showing up here. So all the profiles that Salesforce offers and the new custom profiles that you have created will show here. And you're telling them that, okay, that field that I'm creating is visible to all the profiles. Okay. If you only want to give read-only access, you will check this checkbox. But if you want to give them visible access, then you will check this checkbox and hit next. So this field will be visible to all the profiles. Okay. And then these are the layouts, look and feel. These are the layouts. And we will say that, okay, this field automatically is added to the layout. So now we're going to go ahead and hit save. Now if I go to the account object, so I'll go to the app launcher and we will say accounts. And here we will say look for new account. And we will look for the field test. See that this is the field. Now, if you want this field, all you have to do, you close out of this, you set up again. You can go from here. There are multiple ways to go. You click on Object Manager. You click on Account. You come to Fields and Relationships. You click on the test field, search for the test field. And here you can delete the field. Now, important point. Delete all dependent information for any dependent on controlling field. When you delete field, it will delete all the dependent information that is available. It will change the result of assignment or escalation rule that rely on the custom field data. So you have to read this. Okay. You will have 15 days to undelete this field. So if you have deleted something by mistake, you will have up to 15 days to restore back that field. And only after that time, it ends all data stored in it will be automatically permanently deleted. So by mistake, if you have deleted a particular field, don't panic. There's always an option to undelete the field and it will bring back all the data. So if I go ahead and click on delete, you've deleted that field, and then it will go under the deleted section here. You will see that field and you can click on undelete here and it will bring back that field. Okay, right now the field we have deleted. So if I go back to the account object, and if we click on new, I shouldn't see that test field anymore. Wait a minute, I have to refresh it. Sometimes it does. Why the hell I'm seeing test field still? Let me go ahead and make sure. Sometimes it is just the caching issue. Oh, okay. I know what it is. So what it is saying is when you delete a particular field, it has not removed its reference from the page layout. Okay. So what you do is you will go ahead and click on edit object and you will come over to see, even with 10 plus years of experience, I still have to use ChatGPT. So you don't have to know everything. You just have to know how to figure the answers. Here you go, and then here you see a test field. Let's see if you see a test field. You don't see a test field. I think it's just a caching issue then. Let me go back again. Page layouts, sometimes the fields are visible as placeholder, not provision need to manually remove from the layout. Okay, formula fields, reports, and dashboards. Okay. Let's try again. This is weird. Never used to happen. Even this field doesn't show up here. Did we delete the field? Okay, deleted fields. I'm going to erase the field, okay? Permanently deleting the field. Yes, I'm going to go ahead and click on delete. So this field, you cannot recover it anymore. And now if I go to accounts, inspect. See, we're using a developer edition. So sometimes there might be some discrepancies as well because Salesforce is going too fast and there are bugs in the system. Yeah, still. Let's look it up next in the next session tomorrow. This field shouldn't be there. It should automatically get removed. It's just,
Oh my God, it's still there, huh?
Yeah,
This must be caching issue,
yeah,
I'm sure. I think,
caching, or it's most likely See here, we've erased the field. And there are a lot of bugs right now in the developer org. This is not the first one. So that's fine. We will look at it tomorrow as an assignment. Okay, guys. So yeah.
Deepika, will you show us how you like refresh the page? But you're doing something more than
Oh,
refreshing,
so this is
like
what I do. So
auto refresh.
you do inspect here. You right click on from the mouse, you click on inspect, and then you click on this thing and you right click again. I feel like I'm going too fast. Am I going too fast? Or am I talking too fast?
No, this is kind of outside the scope. I was just wanted to see a really good way to refresh the screen other than just reloading it.
Yeah, so see here. Okay, let me show you again. So basically, you right click, you click on inspect. Okay, then you click on this reload button. You right click again here and then do empty cache and hard reload. That will remove, that will redo the cache. It'll clean up the cache as well. So if I go here, can you believe that? It still shows up even after we deleted it. Let me use a different browser. Now this is going to bug
I
me.
think it's still there in the layout, just the label.
No, it wasn't there. I checked the layout.
Oh, it wasn't there. Okay.
No.
But it should have removed it. No?
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, there's a lot of bugs in developer org. This is not the first one.
And thank you, Deepika, for showing us this because in the past I've gone crazy trying to fix something. When I go to the community, they're like, just grab a new org. I was like, I don't want to grab a new org. I want to know how to fix it.
Yeah, I know. See, let me see. There are different ways. Let's do this. Okay, so I'm gonna log in, save it. Let's go to accounts. This is a brand new browser, so let's see if it shows up. Nope, it doesn't show up. So it was just a damn caching issue. See, doesn't show up. So once you delete it, you will have 15 days, up to 15 days to undelete it. So if you have data stored in that field, that data will automatically be restored. But if it's after 15 days, it will automatically be erased from the system. You cannot recover it. So if you have by mistake deleted something, don't panic. Okay, guys. Now, last 4 minutes, this is the end of the session, okay, for today. Last 4 minutes, I want you to tell me how was the session and anything I can improve on the session. Was it too fast for you? Do you need more help? Did you not understood something? So this is a time to speak up.
Quick question. How long are these dev orgs active for? How long can we use them?
This developer org is active for unlimited time. Let's see here, I have the developer.salesforce.com. Sign up. It's active for as long as you want.
As long as we want. Okay.
Yeah. Then there is a Sept. You make sure you're not doing another account. Agentforce empowered 45 days.
Oh,
If it's
okay.
inactive for 45 days, it says includes autonomous and other generative AI features, and Salesforce may limit use of those features in the org and may terminate any org that has been inactive for 45 days. But as long as you're playing with it, you'll be fine.
Perfect.
Okay.
I love it. Thank you. Everything went great for me.
Okay, awesome. And I want feedback from everybody. Was this different from Udemy? Because I don't want you to feel that, hey, she's covering the same damn material and I could have just learned it in $10.
It was good, Mika. It's just I think that mixing the advanced and the beginner was a bit
Okay.
kind of back and forth. So that would be the only thing for me as far as a comment. But it was good. Actually, I like that we can ask you questions and you dive deeper into some of the subjects that we're confused about.
Okay, but guys, make sure you don't jump the gun so that everybody's on the same page. Questions are welcoming. That goes for Khushbu. Khushbu, you picked up a question which was way advanced. So you can ask me those questions later on once the session finishes up.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I have a suggestion just from all those things. So if you have questions like that, it would be good to kind of put them in the chat and then kind of look through them in the last like 5-10 minutes if they are something that is not related to your flow. is,
Exactly.
then
Yeah,
it
excellent.
can actually, yeah.
That way everybody comes up to that and also doesn't interferes with the flow of.
Yeah, it doesn't take away from the time that we have.
Yeah. I will be mindful, and everybody please be mindful. What else, guys? Sayali, Rohit.
Yeah, Deepika, for me, it was really good. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What's your money, guys? I want to make sure you get more value out of this.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Okay.
See, I have not used Salesforce ever in my life. This is the first time I'm learning Salesforce. So, but I am technical with my background, so I do have a tech thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you were able.
Deepika, like it's same with me. Like I had a like past experience of, 6 years of experience in CRM development, Siebel CRM development. So the concepts are like similar.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
perfect. Thank you so
So,
much.
so Deepika, when you mark the field as external field, so the data has to only come from the external system.
it is supposed to, but people will put their people can hard code the values, like they can actually go in and update it, but ideally this is data should be from external system. The ID should reflect in an external system.
Okay, but still we can enter the data,
Yes.
but
Yes, you can say the order ID is this, but
okay,
that order ID will be available in an external system, which will point to another order in that system.
okay, but we can also enter it, but the
Then
reason
so
of
then
that external ID is the purpose of it is to get the data from the external system
yes.
into that field.
Okay, I'll tell you an example. So I worked in an org where there was loans were captured in one system, in one system of Salesforce, and loans were nothing but opportunities. This was RDBMS, RDBMS, and this was like a data. This was a database, an external RDBMS data, and this was Salesforce. Okay, so what was happening was an loan used to come from this system, and it used to be converted in an opportunity inside of Salesforce. So here they had a concept of loan ID. Okay. And over here, there is also going to be opportunity ID, right? Because every record is going to have a unique ID. So there is concept of opportunity ID. On this opportunity object, we created another field called as loan ID, just to capture, let's say the loan is there and that loan ID is LX121. And this represents the whole loan in that system. So opportunity ID in Salesforce, let's say is OF1211, and corresponding to that, LX122 was stored. So this is nothing but marked as an external ID. And when you look up this external ID, you go to the system and the record exists for that. That is the concept of external ID. Very simple.
Okay, so that data for the loan ID will come through the data imports, right? When you import the data from the external system,
You
or when
basically use like platform events. We were using platform events to push the data. It's a little higher concept. We were using platform events to push that data. But once the data comes, you are not bringing everything from here. All you're bringing is the loan ID from the system. And you can go to that system and check the whole information about that loan based on this ID.
Okay.
It's for syncing purposes. Let's say you want to sync the loans in the other system with the opportunities in one system. Rather than reduplicating everything, you basically say, hey, this loan, this opportunity is tied to this loan, and the remaining information about that loan is present in that other system. You have established a linkage between the two.
Okay. So it has to come through the data import, or through some kind of integration.
Yeah. Yeah. Purposes for integration. Purposes like when you're integrating two systems, external ID means there is a system outside of your Salesforce, and that's where you're storing the data. And the uniqueness of that data is defined by a particular field, and that field value, you're storing it on your system as an external ID.
Okay. So let's suppose I have an external system as a Excel, Microsoft Excel.
Okay.
So can I use it like from the data import wizard, using the Excel file and store the data into this external ID?
Yeah. Yeah. But
okay.
Yeah, so because in the Excel sheet, usually nobody uses that. But if there is an Excel sheet, you have marked a field as like you're capturing your loan information in an Excel sheet. You're using the data import wizard to load all that data. And in that data, let's say you are saying loan, that you will import the data into the loan ID field. But what I'm saying is that loan ID reflects that the data is stored in an external system. That's the purpose of external ID. Don't get confused. When I say external ID, it means that there is a linkage to an external system. And
Yes,
that,
yes. Yeah, I understood that. But only thing is the data in that field, I'm asking about
yeah,
that.
you can put it through data import wizard. You can put it through platform events. You can even hard code that value. You can go to that field and input the value yourself. That's not a problem.
Okay, thank you, Deepika.
Deepika, I have a question in this topic. So, suppose we are going to insert the data in Salesforce using data loader. Data is the lookup relationship. So, in this scenario, are we going to use external ID, or we have to create a custom external ID?
Lookup is within Salesforce.
Yeah, within Salesforce.
So then you're not going to create external ID. No. Lookup is just to create, you're tying it to another field of your Salesforce itself.
Yes. No, lookup relationship data I want to insert using data loader.
Yeah.
So
yeah, so you basically, when you do a lookup of that field, it's an ID field behind the scene. That is not the same as external ID. No.
okay. Yeah.
That's not an external ID. External ID is, let me explain. I think I might be confusing you, but that's fine. That's where we're going to use my best tool here. Explain external ID in easy to understand manner with help of an example. Salesforce. Okay, think of it like a matching key that helps Salesforce know this record already exists in my database. I don't need to create a new one. That database could be another system. Okay. See here, this is a very good example. In QuickBooks, let's say you're using software called QuickBooks. In QuickBooks, you're storing your customer information, and every customer has a unique customer number. Okay. Now in Salesforce, you will create a custom field on the object called customer number, and you will mark this field as external ID, which tells you that this data of customer number is present in this QuickBooks. That's it.
Okay, so in this scenario, external ID used only for the third-party application integration.
Yeah, for third-party integration. Majority of the time, it is used for third-party integration. Okay, so now what happens is a very important point when you're bringing in data. So you will use the customer ID to figure out, does that record already exist or do I need to create a new one? Very important point, which I missed. So when you're importing or inserting the data into this account object, you're checking, Salesforce looks at the external ID field. If it already found a record where this external ID is populated, it will just update that record. Otherwise, it will create a new record under the account record and will update the customer ID field over there. So this is another important use case of external ID when you are bringing in data. Do I need to create a new record corresponding to that, or do I need to update an existing record corresponding to that? That is also can be controlled using external ID. Does that make sense?
But
No,
then if
see-
you're creating a new record, then it has no connection with the external instance that you're connecting with, right? So you're creating a brand new record. Then how does the external ID have any significance?
See, loans in this system were coming into the opportunity into Salesforce. Not everything from the loan was being moved over.
Oh, okay. So anything that's outside of that loan, this thing would be a new opportunity.
Yeah. So you're saying that, okay, this loan ID LX122 is mapped to 02234 in our site.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then on the OF2234, you also have said that, okay, LX122. So now let's say you updated something on LX122, you updated the loan amount, and you sent this new update over to this system. Okay, now it will say, okay, do I already have LX122 available in my system, in my Salesforce? Yes, that means I will update the opportunity amount on my system. But if that LX122 doesn't exist, that means I need to create a new record corresponding to it, and I will update a loan amount over that. So this LX122 will also decide if it is a new record that I need to create or update an existing record. Does it make sense, guys?
But okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So can I try? I think, sorry, go ahead.
I was saying, is anybody else want to take a lead on it to explain it in a better way?
No, I think I'm just trying to figure out why would you, if you have, let's say you have an external ID, right? That means you're trying to actually get data from another database outside of your Salesforce instance, right?
But let's say you're trying to sync up the data. You don't always have to fetch the data. You might have to, let's say, whatever the other system is reflecting, you want to reflect it in your system also.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
In that way, let's say an update came from that other system, and now somebody is not mute.
Okay, Deepika, I have a question here. So if you created the opportunity object in Salesforce 2 years ago, and then you created there was no field called external ID, and now you are integrating with the loan RDBMS.
Okay.
So that's when you have to go and create a new field, opportunity ID, then as external ID, just because of this integration?
No, opportunity ID is the uniqueness on the opportunity object itself. You're creating a new field on the opportunity, which is saying that there is a loan system, and that loan system's record is being available in LX122. That is the ID of that system. Okay, let me explain to you in a better way. I think, let's go back to here. We don't have to go deeper into it, guys. It's important from integration perspective, but since you guys are very interested in it, we will talk about it. If this doesn't give you a good answer, I'm going to use the plain old Excel sheet to explain it to you. Okay, so see here. In QuickBooks, you're storing all your customer information. Okay? Customer number on the QuickBooks system says customer 001. Okay? You're bringing half of this information and storing it into Salesforce object, or basically you're syncing up that information. Whatever is in QuickBooks, you're also syncing it up in Salesforce under the account object. Okay. Account object will have its own field called account ID. On that account object, you created another field called customer number on the account object. What it does, it captures this QuickBook customer number. So there are two fields which represents two unique IDs. Okay, so now here, let's say address of this customer got updated in QuickBooks. You are not capturing, got updated, and you want to send that update over to Salesforce. So let's say previous address of this customer was Prosper. Now the new address is Plano, Texas. Okay, so what happens is that update came of that whole record with the customer 001. It will first, the purpose of this field is it will see, okay, does in Salesforce customer 001 exist or not? If it exists, it will go ahead and update that record. If it doesn't exist, it tells you that, okay, that record doesn't exist. That means I need to create a new customer record at my end. That is why this external ID is important. Does it make sense? I don't think I can explain better than this.
It makes sense. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, good. So the customer system has a number. Salesforce.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Can I take a stab at it?
Sure.
Okay. So I think this kind of scenario is especially useful when you decide on whether you want to persist data in Salesforce or not. So for example, especially if you have legacy systems or external systems, and the data is split across multiple systems. Now, I think this is a good example. What Deepika showed is you have some customer information or loan information, or it could be any system that has some information which you do not want to recreate all of the data within Salesforce, because I think, remember, data storage in Salesforce is very expensive. So you do not want to replicate all of that. You still want to use your external legacy systems for pulling that data or syncing that data. I think it in terms of like primary key and foreign key. The only thing what you're bringing is just that unique key into your Salesforce system through which you can reference to your legacy systems and also sync via that particular key. So you don't want to persist the entire data for that particular ID. Instead, you're just persisting that data, only the key through which you can refer. I hope it makes sense.
I think that was a good explanation, Amar. Thank you for taking a stab on this one. Is everybody clear on external ID? I think moment I said it's important concept, everybody just thought about it and they wanted to learn it. But this is outside the scope of admin. This was more for integration purposes. Okay. I think we are 15 minutes over, guys. Any more questions? So everybody's happy for today's training?
Yep.
Yes. Thank
Yes,
Thanks,
Deepika.
Awesome. Okay. So there is no assignment today because you just have to go through this recording again before tomorrow's class. That's your assignment. And Khushbu's assignment is that assignment that she was giving us, she has to figure that out now and let us
Yes.
know what's going on.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
And guys, I've created the group. If you guys want to create a smaller group yourself, want to meet every day just to be kind of like, please feel free to do that. Amar is there who kind of showed interest in taking the lead on doing like these kind of sessions outside of my 2 hours. But if you need anything on weekdays as well, just let me know and I'll make myself available if you have any questions. Okay, guys?
Thank you.
Thanks, Deepika.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Thank you, Deepika.
Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
will see
Thank you, Deepika. Have a good one.
you too.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.